Hello, my honeys. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle, and welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber or a new subscriber, thank you for returning and listening to this pick a card, and I really appreciate your support. I appreciate you allowing for me to grow this channel, and the best way to do that is by subscribing, perhaps every once in a while making some comments, and just really letting me know how these readings are resonating for you, because I hope they're helpful. I hope they're useful. If you're brand new to this channel, I am Kamara. I'm a psychic medium as well as a channeler of my divine teachers, as well as my divine siblings and sibyls, and my ancestors, all who sit at the feet of spirit. So thank you so much. I really have appreciate the support of this channel, and so again, thank you. I probably said that a few times. So this pick a card reading, it's a request, and it was just a general request about a career reading, but I thought it might be good to ask for guidance around your best career moves for the next 6 months. Now, we have 4 groups this time, and group 1, 2, 3, 4. My guides are saying that we should leave the cards face down until we're ready for the pick a card. But you can choose one of your piles either by just kind of taking a look. I'll take my hands away and you can kind of stop the video and see what pile might be drawing you. Or you can use the artwork that's at the beginning of this video, and I'll make sure I timestamp it in the description box below. Or you can use the numbers in the description box, the timestamp numbers, because some people like to do numerology. I find that that's what I do a lot, and it's pretty accurate when I choose that way. But that requires for you to know some of the basics of numerology. So, honeys, let's get into this reading. It's a longer one because we have 4 groups. But what I think we will ask is, what's the overall energy of your career right now or going into the next 6 months? What kind of energy or what kind of characteristics do you need to embody to be successful in these next 6 months? And then just an overall theme of this next 6 months for you. And then we'll pick some tarot cards as well as some tea leaf cards to expand on any ideas the Spirit has given us in this reading. So let's start with the first pick a card, and I will see you in yours. Thanks so much. Hello, my honeys. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle, and welcome to this pick a card on your best career moves for the next 6 months. Now, this reading is timeless, so if you're watching this while I'm filming it, we're in the month of June, so that would be up into the end of this year. But if you're watching this later, it's the next 6 months of whatever time frame you're in out. So let's go to the main advice or the main theme for the next 6 months. You have the Cave. It's a very interesting card, and I'm trying to get it close so that you can see there's 2 eyes in that darkness, and there's a couple of hands, and then there's this illuminating light right above the eyes. The Cave is, in many ways, kind of like that hermit energy, where we're going within and we're seeking refuge. And there may be something about your work that has had you going into your interior, group number 1. And what I mean by that is sometimes when we are contemplating maybe a huge change for some of you, this is what Spirit is saying. It means that we need to go within and really sit with how we're feeling, our thoughts so far about this work that we've been doing. And it says here, even in the book, because I want to like kind of reference something that I saw that was interesting in this book. It says, envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. What amenities do you need? What draws you ever closer to the cave within the cave? Group number 1, the next 6 months of your career may occur in somewhat of isolation. And let me talk to you about that. Maybe even withdrawal. I think that for a few of you, if not all of you, group number 1, have started to see a little bit of the underbelly of the work that you're doing. Maybe you came into this work bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, really hopeful and optimistic. And while those themes of being optimistic and really believing in the work that you do remain there, there's something running underneath, a question maybe, not necessarily a doubt, but I think there's something that you've been seeing, maybe in your colleagues, maybe in the rules you have to follow for your work, maybe in the construction of this work, that you're starting to wonder, do I align that way with the work? And if you aren't feeling that now, there's a little bit, for a small group of you, a little bit of a predictive, something may shift for you. There may be a moment that happens in your work that gives rise for you to go within. And Spirit is saying here that this cave, it's allowing for you to see things as they really are. For some of you, you know fundamentally the work that you're doing does create change. But for some reason, some of you may feel like it's been co-opted by, I don't know, Spirit's telling me politics, and that politics could be quite literally the government, or it could be politics within the organization. And it has you worried. Maybe for some of you, you don't want to be on the wrong side of things. And in some ways, maybe some of you are thinking you have to take a side. Maybe there's some division at work for some of you. So these next 6 months are going to have you not only, maybe for some of you, withdrawing a little bit, not necessarily where your coworkers or people you're serving can't depend on you, but you're looking at something. You're choosing to observe right now. And that observation is more in the dark, rather than you going and telling everyone, hey, I want to look at this closer. That's not the mood that you're in. The mood you're in is more of like, let me go within. Let me observe. Instead of talking so much about my concerns, let me just look at things as they are. And let me make my decisions from a clear, grounded place of observation. So Spirit is saying you would benefit from being in the energy of these next few cards, the archetype cards. Midas, miser. It says entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything into gold. Delight in sharing life's riches. The shadow attribute would be hoarding your money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. Spirit is saying, in the next 6 months, you may seriously be thinking of striking out on your own. Group number 1, some of you. Like taking something where you once worked for somebody and now you're like, do I need to do this on my own just to maintain the boundaries, maybe maintain the values and the ethics that I want to maintain while I'm doing this work? And with the Midas or the miser here, Spirit is saying that you're going to find that you can go a couple of directions in these next 6 months. You may think to yourself, I just want to strike out on my own and hold the values around this work by working for myself. Or for some of you, you may enter into a cave of doubt where you're quite literally like, am I going to get laid off? You're worried about a lot of things. You're worried about your livelihood more than you are around your sustainability with your work. Pioneer. Wow. Spirit is giving you a nudge, group number 1. It says here, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Shadow attribute, compulsive need to keep moving on. So Spirit is saying here, in the next 6 months, you may want to strike out on your own. You may want to form your own business, doing whatever it is that you do, group number 1. And Spirit is saying here, you have a pioneering spirit. You have the ability to innovate from a place where there's a gap. And the gap is when you see a part of the service that's not being, it's not answering the needs of the clients. It's not answering the need of the customer. And you see that gap and you come up with a plan, group number 1. You're like, oh, if we only did this. And you may have brought that to your current job and they were like, we can't afford to do that. Or that would take us too long to train people. Or, whatever excuse they made. And you're like, but this is the gap that needs to be filled. This is what our customers, our clients are missing. This is what our partners are missing. Take it where it resonates, you all. Bully. Yeah. Highlights the tendency to intimidate others, helps you to confront the inner fears that bully you. The shadow attribute conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Spirit is saying most definitely the light attribute. For you, group number 1, your thoughts around whatever this is are so innovative. They're so on the cutting edge, the leading edge, that quite literally you are going to find that there are people who you once looked to as your mentors, who you once looked to as your teachers in your career, that are now intimidated by the ideas that you have. Because whatever this idea is that you have, group number 1, it is quite literally on the edge. It's pushing the edges of your industry, of your particular field. It's pushing the edges. And I think what you are going to find is that suddenly people are stepping back from you. When you bring up these ideas, they're like, why are you challenging the status quo? They may not say it that way, but you are getting the underlying tone. And so Spirit is saying right now, you want to be in that Midas energy because these ideas are going to turn to gold. But you've also got to deal with the idea that not everyone is going to support you right away. Yeah. Can you take the heat, group number 1? That's what Spirit is saying to you may come up as the challenge. It's the heat of being in pioneering energy, allowing for your creativity to blossom and lose all the limitations and boundaries so that you could really discover something new for the people that you serve, whether they're clients, whether they're stakeholders, whether they're customers. Spirit is saying here that the next 6 months you're going to be preparing yourself for a particular kind of leadership around something that has never been done before. Wow. Let's see. Yeah. You got celebration here. When you take this action, group number 1, just because your colleagues don't see the vision doesn't mean the client or the customer doesn't. There's something about the way that you're deciding to do the work that you do that has the clients raving. They're like, oh my God, someone finally is addressing this issue that I've been having all this time, that I've been complaining about or fearful about. Someone is finally addressing that issue. And so you're going to be seen by the people you serve as a little bit, Spirit saying, of a savior, because you're coming forth with an idea that's going to finally meet 100% of their needs. But this idea is not currently backed by the establishment. Yeah. But you have judgment here. And you see how the swan is looking at its own reflection. Spirit is saying here, group number 1, to choose yourself. To choose in your divine inner wisdom, to choose your knowledge and your skills, and to not back down from something that quite clearly you see as the next step, as the evolution of your career, of the work you do. Wow, pretty deep. What else, Spirit? Yeah. This will become wish fulfillment for you. You have the 9 of Pentacles. Maybe Spirit is trying to give you more of the positive outcome because there may be a lot of fear inside of you around stepping over certain obstacles to get to this place. But Spirit is saying you are going to realize not only leadership, but a certain kind of financial stability that you may not have seen coming. Yeah, we have the establishment card. 10 of discs. Your idea will bring forward change in how the establishment thinks. It will bring forward and challenge current ways of operating, group number 1. But your guides are saying, and Spirit is saying, that it's time. Your idea is has a time of its own, and it's come. I kind of said that backwards in a little ways, but it's an idea whose time has come. Right. Spirit was like, that's how you say it. Yeah, it's going to put you Wheel of Fortune. It is quite literally, group number 1, going to put you on the top of the wheel. I've never really experienced the energy of Spirit really wanting to encourage you with all these powerful outcomes. But Spirit is saying that right now you may be, Others, when they're fearful, will attempt to hold you down, will attempt to try to keep you small. And if you submit to that, then you're missing your purpose here. Look at this. This is why you got the cave. You've got this hermit card, group number 1, and you have the cave. Spirit is saying right now, go within. Go into your cave as the sage, not the one who's trying to hide. Bring your lantern with you, your insights, your wisdom, and look into the dark of your career. Remember I said you're dealing with the underbelly of your career, something that people have done that maybe in some cases been very outdated, and you're trying to elevate the practices of your career. You're trying to do something where you have to go into the darks. You have to go into the shadowy cave to even realize what it is that you want to create change around, group number 1. Wow. Yeah. What it's going to do, you've got this 4 of Pentacles. It's going to even things out. It's going to balance things out. It's going to create a sense of like, why haven't we done this before? If the clients like it, if the customer likes it, if it's benefiting the people we serve, why haven't we done this? And you will have many people, naysayers, in the corner going, well, we can't afford it, or we don't have staff for that, or we don't have the infrastructure for that. You know, like you're going to hear, you may hear even some very solid explanations for why your idea can't be executed, group number 1. And I think at a certain point, rather than stay in the energy of trying to convince people and the energy of trying to take the heat, I think you are going to be like, well, it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to grow this idea of mine and find true supporters for it because I believe in it. Right, Spirit? Look at that. Spirit does not lie. 6 of Swords. Because all 6 of those swords were your attempt to get people around you, colleagues, organizations, companies, to look at your idea and to really start to see it as a beacon for your field, your career. But instead, you will leave. Most of you will leave. This Queen of Swords came out in reverse, and Spirit is explaining to me that there will be challenging moments in this move, in this cave, for you, group number 1. But don't lose sight of trust in your divine inner wisdom, because you will become an upside Queen of Swords. You will go deeper into your cave and seek to blame others and seek to be in an energy of resentment, when really Spirit is like, you hold the sword. You hold the idea. You can do with it whatever you need to do with that idea. It's not theirs. It's yours. And maybe in terms of colleagues and businesses and programs, maybe you needed to see who can hold the vision with you. Because where you're taking it is pure success. That's all I see. That's all that Spirit is bringing forward, group number 1. Let's take a couple tea leaf cards. Oh no, there was this purple card that Spirit was calling towards me. Yeah. Wow. December. If you are watching this while I film it in June, December will be your outcome. That's why Spirit was like, in the next 6 months. For you, that was the title, was directing you, group number 1. Barrel. If you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Yeah, I think what you are, how you're going to move forward with this entrepreneurial idea, or, whatever it is that you're going to see and feel into a certain kind of lack with the current job, with the current field. And Spirit is saying here with the caterpillar, know that this is going to pass. The dissension, the jealousy, the infighting, the lack of understanding, all of that will pass, because Spirit already gave you the snapshot of your victory. So I guess Spirit is reminding you, don't dive deep into the doubts of others. Let them just float on the top. Let them just float away. Yeah, because you're going to experience some frustration here. But Spirit wants you to know right now, group number 1, that it's all part of the process. And it is not where you are going to stay. It is not where you're going to land. A dark woman could be essential in helping you move towards success. This could be a woman with dark hair. It could be a woman with dark skin. It's just a descriptor. Yeah, you're going, I don't know, you know what? Spirit is just so optimistic about your idea, group number 1, and so encouraging. It's like the bridge. You're going to successfully overcome this problem. A wish will be granted. Okay? Yes, happiness. Speak, Spirit. Yeah, it's time to get out of a certain situation. Spirit's just like, let me move you on. And let me tell you, you're going to succeed. You're going to do everything. Yeah, you're going to move beyond the walls of misunderstanding. You're going to move beyond walls of ignorance. And you are going to overcome this challenge. Look, you've got the mountain. You're going to overcome the challenge. And lastly, Spirit is saying here, as they say on Wall Street, you've got to be bullish. There's a time to be bullish, meaning you don't back down from opposition. You show your strength and you show your fortitude. You move forward with an idea. Some of you might even have Taurus energy inside of you, and you're going to utilize that energy to debunk the naysayers and move forward at the same time. So group number 1, wow. You all are working on something phenomenal, something very powerful that's backed by Spirit. And what I've got to say here is, if any or all of this has resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up, but also please comment below, like, if you can, what industry you're in, or a little bit about your idea, because I would love to be of support of it. Because this is something that Spirit is saying, move forward. Don't wait for others to understand you. Spirit and the universe understands you. Your clients, your customers understand you. And you're going to turn this whole thing around and open a portal to a new way of practicing in whatever field you're in, whatever career you're in. So if you like the way that I read, please consider subscribing to this channel by clicking the subscribe button. And if you click the bell, you'll get notified when I upload new readings. Group number 1, if this is where we part, I'm very confident, and it's a collective reading though, but I'm very confident that you're going to see a positive outcome with whatever changes you implement in your career. Okay, my honeys, take care. Hello, group number 2. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle, and this is your pick a card reading on the next 6 months of your career. What is it that you need to know to maybe move forward, to make some changes, some major moves you need to make? Well, let's get the overall energy of the next 6 months for your career. And know this is a timeless reading. I'm recording this in the month of June, and so the end of 6 months from now would be December. But take it wherever you are when you're watching this, just 6 months from now. What is the overall energy that Spirit wants you to know about in terms of your career? We have the Pilgrim. This card always speaks to me of someone getting ready to take a journey that's not just traveling, but more of a sacred journey, a journey that's going to help you learn something or integrate some kind of knowledge or wisdom. For some of you in this group, your work might center around spirituality, or spirituality may have something to do with your work. Now, this could be on a spectrum, right? You could be a yoga teacher, or you could be a chaplain, or you could be a minister, or you could be in charge of something like a spiritual center, like a retreat center. Like it's going to range and resonate based on who's listening to this, and know that it's a collective reading, so please only take what resonates. But this journey could also mean that you're heading into a different career altogether, group number 2, that you've been contemplating this. For some of you, this may be that you decide to get additional training to move up in your career. Or for some of you, this is a journey into a totally new field, a new career, new kind of work. So let's see what energy you need to be in according to Spirit. We have the Queen. It says, radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. The shadow attribute is becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. So to be in Queen energy means that you already probably have some kind of leadership position. It doesn't mean that you have the highest of leadership positions, but you are being directed towards that. So maybe right now you haven't taken on a management role, but maybe this Queen is saying you could do that. Let's see what else. You have the Trickster here. It says transcending convention, stuffiness, and unpredictable behavior. The shadow attribute is manipulating others through duplicity. And then you have the Lover. Great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation for someone or something. The shadow attribute is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructed devotion. So group number 2, this journey, if it is towards a leadership position, if it is towards creating your authority from the feminine attributes, you may be, some of you in this group, be working with the feminine in your job as well. So there's something spiritual, but it's also the feminine. So maybe you're working with women to develop themselves in some kind of spiritual practice. I keep hearing yoga, so let me know if that's you're training to be a yoga teacher or you're on that journey. The Trickster and the Lover, it's very interesting because this is my second time filming this group number 2. And the first recording did not go through. And I was like, dang, that was a good reading. But for whatever reason, whenever that happens, Spirit is saying, you missed something. And I'm like, okay, I will do it again. But in the first recording I did, I saw that you may have had to use your networking skills, your ability to compel people to hop on your idea, which sometimes the trickster can be seen that way. Like you're trying to navigate systems that are a little bit strict and stringent. Which is funny because now Spirit is saying that if you are, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but I'm going to put it out there because usually there's one person that's like, that was the hammer on the nail for me. Spirit is saying maybe, group number 2, some of you, and this is specific, you are trying to integrate two things into a job that, you're trying to integrate two things that don't normally go together. So say you're working in a program to help single mothers, and then you say, well, I found out that yoga can be a great stress reducer for parents. And so you decide in this program where you're working with women on, single mothers, on maybe you're a counselor or something, you decide to integrate yoga into the program, or meditation, or mindfulness, or breath work. And maybe this is something where you have to take two loves of your own, here's the lovers, and you bring them together to form something that most people would say, wow, this is kind of tricky, you putting these two together, but it works. It serves the client, it serves the customer. So there's something like that, group number 2, in the next 6 months, or maybe you've even been thinking about it now, where you're like, it would be very helpful if my customers, my clients, learned this. It would really solve this part of their problem. Very interesting. And Spirit is saying, yeah, this idea is going to be considered brilliant, group number 2. Because I think most people that you work with, or most people, most programs would have never integrated the two things together. And I'm not saying it's yoga, meditation, all that, but it is something of could be considered a spiritual practice. But maybe you're bringing it into a place that normally chooses not to bring forward spiritual concepts. You know what I mean? But you may push the envelope on this. I mean, in my work as a psychotherapist, I am trained to use certain psychedelics in therapy. And what's interesting is that was a cutting edge idea for therapists to also utilize psychedelics in helping their clients. But, the research has proven that for some people, this has been very helpful to their depression or the anxiety. And there was still, and there still is, it's not all medicines are legal to work with in terms of psychedelics, but some are. And it's like convincing the government, yeah, these two can go together. There is, more and more research to prove it. In fact, I don't know why I'm going off on this tangent, but maybe somebody needs to hear it. It was found in one research, or there's this story going around that a particular client, I forgot what medicine they were using. It might have been psilocybin, but this person had been considered quadriplegic, didn't have the function of some of their body movements. And when they took a certain kind of psychedelic medicine, it began to rewire their brain, and they started to show evidence of movement in certain parts of their body. Now, I don't have the total article, you'll have to go research it, but it's something that's quite amazing what these medicines are doing for the brain and the body connection. Now, going back to you, group number 2, it's something like that. It's something where normally your field of work wouldn't utilize a particular modality, but you are going to bring the two together in these next 6 months, and people are going to be like, wow, that was a brilliant idea. Wow, how did you even think of that? And really, quite literally, group number 2, I think it's because you saw a need and you were like, oh, well, I personally love, going back to the example of yoga, I personally love yoga. It helps me to calm and relax and get in my body. I just thought it would be helpful for my clients or customers too. You see what I'm saying, group number 2? Now, please know, those were very specific examples, but your example may be symbolic. This is probably symbolic of your own example. There is, going back to this journey though, this journey could mean that you will seek out additional training to bring these two together. This journey may mean that you go and meet up with different researchers or teachers or experts, and you say, hey, I'm bringing this part of my work into your field. Again, let's go back to the example of yoga. You may go and meet with several yoga teachers and say, what are some good poses for stress reduction? Or can you help me come up with a simple sequence for my clients? Or would you come and teach? There's something there where your journey, this pilgrimage, group number 2, is you networking with people, getting people together and creating this new road for things that two normal things that wouldn't go together are starting to, there's a project to bring them together. Very specific, but I really feel like that is the energy of group number 2. You're going to take something that was non-ordinary and bring the two together. Could be listening to music while making art. Things that people do, but you find a way to help your students relax doing that. It could be anything. So Spirit is saying here, with this 3 of Wands, is to trust your vision, group number 2. I think group number 1 got this card too. It's like, really trust it, even if it seems odd or not ordinary. This is what you've been given as a gift, and in the next 6 months, you may realize a completely different phase of your work. I don't think Spirit had this card come in reverse. Spirit is saying, unlike group number 1, you may not experience a lot of pushback. Even though the two seem a little different, it's going to make sense to people when you talk about the vision. People are going to be like, oh, you know what? That does make sense. I really want to see that happen. It would be lovely to see these two work together. And if you need to learn more on how to do that, you may be in an organization that's very supportive of you going and doing the legwork, the journey, to bring back some real solid, good practices, group number 2. What else, Spirit? The universe. It's not this idea, it's going to evolve even. This is what Spirit is saying. It's not the end all be all. So you may say, I want to bring these two together. I want to go talk to some experts. But in the end, you may realize that there's still more to discover, like how the clients are reacting to this. How are they responding to this new way of working? And that's just, again, an example. Your situation may be a little more detailed in a different direction. But this universe card in reverse is saying it's not the completion yet of the idea. But in these next 6 months, you may be prepping for the idea. You may come up with some sample workshops or demos. There's something there where in these next 6 months, group number 2, you're going to be cultivating the idea. It's not going to maybe come to its full fruition in the next 6 months, but you are going to be doing the legwork for this. And maybe you currently are for some of you. You've got 3 of disc. Now, for some of you, because it's in reverse, I think that you may actually bring this idea outside of your workplace. It may be something that your workplace is not able to support. but it doesn't mean that you can't do it on your own. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm just going to rent a workshop space and bring these two together. So there may be a few of you in which your work colleagues are not really directly going to work with you on this. But there is support still, I'm seeing. You have choices for Sevens of Cups. Yeah, I think in the beginning of this idea, because it's brand new, because you are experimenting, there's just going to be a lot of different directions you can go. And Spirit is saying, be okay, be flexible with how this all comes about. You may learn different pieces of information and say, oh, you know what, I really would need to change this part of it. Also, Spirit is saying here, a lot of this work, it may be emotionally just held by you for a while until you finalize all the different details. And to not get discouraged by that. You do have support, even though it's a reverse of having to defend yourself. There's a little bit of that. So maybe Spirit is saying it may be some naysayers out there or some people who are like, we really don't have the time for this. But I really don't think that your pushback is as intense as group one. I think that here it's more of like people kind of just standing to the side and seeing how well you do with this idea. Maybe they won't necessarily run up and be volunteering or offering their expertise, but they will come and see what you're doing. They will be curious, group number two. And I think this is because you have Six of Swords in reverse. I don't think you're going to have to quit whatever you're currently doing to get this idea off the ground. This is not group number one at all. This is more of you've got support and maybe a little bit of time in your current job place or in your current business to take this on. And it will truly become a journey for you. A pilgrimage of sorts. Yeah, you're going to start planning. and in that planning, Spirit is saying, you're going to see the path ahead. You're going to see where you need to what direction you need to go in. Anything else, Spirit, with these cards? And then we'll go to the tea leaves. Yeah. For some of you, this is it's spirituality and something else. Maybe even religion and something else. Maybe some of you, there's some therapists who call themselves Christian therapists. Or there's some therapists that say, I do Buddhism and mindfulness. So, it's something like that. The idea is moving two things together, two healing modalities or two philosophies coming together to create something new, a new way of practicing even. Yeah, you will usher in some change for your career, for your field even. People are going to be like, wow, have you heard what group number 2 is doing? I really want to learn this from them. I really want to see how that's progressing for them. It feels... it makes sense, some people are going to be very curious about what you're doing, group number 2. Let's go to the tea leaves. Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of luck around this because people are curious. Even if they're not ready to dive in a full way, they're very curious and will support you by showing up to your demos maybe, or, It says affairs of the family. Huh. That might be some other clue to this work, like spirituality and family. Your family might need to be supportive of your work or will be in some way. The dragon. Beware of self-delusion. Yeah, I also think that is why you probably, Spirit is saying, take it all slow. Be open and flexible to all ways that this idea can be executed. So that way you're not entering into some kind of delusionment if it doesn't work one way. Just be very open to several ways of doing this. There may be, because I'm seeing these two cards, group number 2, there may be a way in which a couple of tries don't exactly work out the way you want them to. It doesn't. I think that Spirit is saying this will be a financially viable idea. It's just a matter of you, group number 2, being willing to go through the process of what works. It's a journey for you. What's working here, what doesn't work here. And because the two have never been brought together, I do believe for most of you this is bringing together two ideas that normally wouldn't be together, and somehow finding the joint path, the middle road of these ideas. And, to not get discouraged if things do not work out one way, to keep yourself very open to all possibilities. So group number 2, if you resonated with any or all of these ideas, can you please give me a thumbs up? It's a really simple way to help me grow this channel. It's brand new. If you like the way that I read and would like to stay connected, please subscribe to this channel and then click that bell, because you get notified when I upload new readings. And if this is where we part, group number 2, I really am excited for your idea, and I don't know if it's proprietary yet, but if you want to share what that might be or what you've been thinking about, I would love to see it in the comments. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Take care, my honeys. Hello, group number 3. How are you? This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle, and this is your reading on your career moves in the next 6 months. So, Spirit has guided me to another second recording of this reading, and I was so disappointed that it did not save, because I really felt like that reading hit home for many people. So we're gonna see again. I don't feel like my message was not appropriate, but maybe there was things in there that Spirit are like, you can leave that out. We'll see. Okay, group number 3. So the first card, this archetype card, is what's the general vibe of the next 6 months in terms of your workplace? The desert. The desert, it's a very unique environment, group number 3. It's got an element of being surreal, but it's also like dry. It's in places it's barren. Its plant resources are very unique to plants that can hold water, that can sustain themselves without a lot of moisture. And it's really symbolically saying to me, group number 3, that you may be in a workplace that doesn't feel very nurturing to you, that actually where you experience yourself feeling a little isolated. Maybe you have not a lot of clarity in this workplace. There's something about not even being able to feel very creative in this workplace. For some of you, this might be a fairly new job, too. It feels like, group number 3, that you see these hands, it feels like they're in quicksand, like they're sinking. There's a feeling of dread. There might even be feelings of needing to be saved. You've got this waning moon, meaning the moon is getting darker and darker in its crescent form. And that waning moon just feels like you're receding deeper and deeper into yourself. You're not as outgoing as you usually are. And there's something about this workplace that's putting you in that energy. Let's see. You have Dileante. Delights in the arts without having to be professional, alerts you to the dangers of becoming superficial in your pursuits. The shadow attribute is pretension to be to have deeper knowledge than you actually possess. Hedonist inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty within you. Shadow attributes pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. Healer. Passion to serve others by repairing the mind, the body, and the spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Shadow attributes is taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. So Spirit is pointing out to me here that whatever position you have, you could be a healer of some sort. You are actually really good at what you do, group number 3. In fact, I think you were hired because of your extraordinary abilities. But there's a way in which this environment, it feels like you can't be your whole authentic self here. Your creative self, your innovative self. It feels like it gets judged. How you show up. It may just even come down to like the way that you dress at work. You know how there's some places that are very conservative, and you come in with your bright colors, you come in and you've got that really fly hairstyle, and there's something that people are judging you about. Some of you, I feel like with these cards, are being discriminated against in the workplace simply because of how you show up. And there's a lot of, I feel like, because I really feel like in between this workplace, I really am looking at the shadow attributes of the hedonist and the dilettante, because it's like you're being perceived in some way, and people are making certain kind of judgments because they want you to be in this position, but they want you to look a certain way, behave a certain way, talk a certain way. You know the drill, group number 3, and you are your most free self. You know, you're not trying to play small. You're not trying to hide who you are. But there's something about you showing up as your authentic self that gets a lot of judgment. Look at that, fragments. Yeah, you know, group number 3, I would say that you're starting to observe that some people are not in your corner. Some people are not very supportive of your work. You're starting to see the underbelly of this place, because look, there's an eye on inside the hand, the palm, and there's an eye here. It's like you're starting to be more observant. And maybe some of you are realizing that you are the subject of a few people's conversations, gossip, that you are being judged as, are you appropriate for this position of healer? How did you get this job? So there's some energy there. Right now, I would say some kind of discrimination, which I really don't like. And it's putting you, group number 3, if this is your pile, because you would know by now if this is your energy of the pile, you are somehow being placed as an outsider in this workplace. It's not giving you the development you want. It's not giving you the inspiration that you need. Say more, Spirit. Let's ask Spirit for more details here. Group number 3. Yeah. This doesn't surprise me. We have the high priestess here. I think the way that you move group number 3 also is that of a high priestess. So meaning regardless of your gender, you are not going to let people know that they're getting to you. You're going to keep doing your work, but you're also going to be highly observant. Some of you may have Scorpio energy. That's just random. But I'm telling you, you're going to be very grounded as you observe these people. And you're like, do I have a problem here? And so there's something instinctual, even intuition-wise, group number 3 that you're tapping into. And you're like, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, hold on. Am I being challenged here? Is there something I need to pay attention to? Yeah. And look, you're going within you may be using your powers of not only discernment, but your powers of your highly intuitive group number 3. So even the best of people who think, oh, they're smiling in your face kind of folks, group number 3, you're the kind of person that can read between the lines. You can read people's energy. And so it's causing you in the next 6 months to have a lot of introspection because you're trying to figure out who are my friends and who are my frenemies. Yeah, Spirit is saying here that it's important with this 8 of Pentacles to keep up the quality of your work right now. To not let whatever's happening in the workplace on a social level interfere with the quality of your work. I don't think it will, but because Spirit is saying it came in upside down, just to be aware of that. If you're starting to get frustrated with people, or you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to go into this place today, you're starting to feel yourself pull away from the job. Spirit, should they stay at this job? Spirit is saying it's a matter of perspective. And here's something that I channeled earlier in the first recording that still applies. Some of you, while being excellent at what you do, being an expert damn near, you may be the only person of either your gender, your culture, your race, your age, whatever it is that's making you be othered. You may be the one of few of your type to be in this career. It may have traditionally belonged to another group of people. And so when you come in, there's a lot of insecurity. There's a lot of, you've got to prove yourself to me, but you are the expert. I mean, I think you were hired to be the expert, group number 3. But you have people even who are not as qualified as you who want to kind of try to bring you down a peg or two. I'm really feeling that there's a lot of negative, toxic kind of energy around you in this workplace. Yeah, these people want to compete with you. But Spirit has me laughing right now, group number 3. Spirit's like, and they cannot. They are nowhere near being qualified as you are. Just because someone's been on the job a long time does not speak to their abilities. Someone here, and Spirit is saying this might be specific for someone, when you entered, you got to reflect back on when you first started this job. There was somebody who said, oh, I applied for that job. I applied for that position, because it's that person who thinks they can compete. And you know what it is? Spirit wants you to understand that even sometimes the hermit is about being a little bit isolated. But Spirit is saying here, because you carry the lantern, that lantern is your wisdom. That lantern is your experience, group number 3. That is what you carry into the shadowy places, into the toxic environments. Now, Spirit, does group number 3 need to stay here? Because dang, I feel like you should just leave. But that's my own personal thing. I mean, Spirit, what's Spirit is saying it's not time. You've got the universe card, but it was in reverse. Spirit is saying, sometimes group number 3, we have karmatic experiences, meaning they're from another life. But maybe in that other life, we had to transition before we could realize the lesson of that karmatic experience. It's karma. It's not saying necessarily you deserve it. It's just that there's a strong energy that needs resolution, and it followed you into this new life. There's something here about even the rainbow colors, even though these are the chakras most likely. There's something here. I'm getting LGBTQIA community for some of you. Maybe that is why you're receiving a little bit of pushback. Take it where it resonates. But Spirit is saying, because this is in reverse, it's not a full cycle. It's not something where you're like, oh, this is BS, let me just leave. Spirit is saying there's an opportunity here. What's the opportunity, Spirit? Oh, wow. Spirit says there's an opportunity for you to become the authority, the ultimate authority, group number 3. Meaning you might end up being in charge, all right? Or you're going to become such an expert in your field that these particular people, these naysayers, these people who want to compete with you, they will see their day when you are quite literally on top. 7 of discs. And here it is. What they don't realize about you, group number 3, is that you will do the work. What they don't realize about you is that you've experienced probably a lot of discrimination because you've been one of few of whatever group you belong to. You may have experienced discrimination in college or training programs. So you probably are what they don't realize about you is that you've got a thicker skin. It doesn't mean that you're not affected by people's toxicity, but it also means that you are not looking for their validation, that you know your self-worth. And so in the next 6 months, there may be some opportunity that comes up. Maybe you're going to write a white paper. Maybe you're going to lead a project. Whatever you're doing, group number 3, in 6 months, the proof of the pudding will be there. And these people, yeah, they will not be able to continue their little campaign to try to bring you down, to try to say, oh, I want to bring some to light these things about group number 3. They're not going to have anything, group number 3. They're not going to have anything. It's almost as if the Chariot and Spirit is saying, do not leave. I mean, Spirit always honors your free will. But the Chariot in reverse, and look at that. For some of you, this is racial discrimination. I don't know why that's just bringing it up to me. And it's very hidden. People are trying to say other things about you, except for the reason why they're discriminating against you. So take it where it resonates. But for you, Spirit is saying you have far more rewards staying in this place and giving it the fight it needs. But, manage your mental health. Don't do it at the expense of that. But Spirit keeps showing me affirmations of like, nah, but you gotta be in the King of Pentacles position. Regardless of gender, you're gonna end up like sitting on this throne holding a big ass pentacle. So Spirit is saying your trajectory, group number 3, is already written. These people cannot do anything about it. In fact, some of you have an Akashic record that is plainly stating you will be a leader and you will be well paid for your knowledge and your wisdom. And here's what it happens with the 6 of Wands. because it's success, right? It's victory. And these people want so hard. On the traditional card, you see people standing in the background, and it looks like the whole crowd should be cheering for you as you ride in on that white horse, and you're wearing your little wreath. But there's a hater. There's a hater or two in the crowd, and it's important for you to understand that, group number 3. And I think that you do. Something tells me this is not your first rodeo when it comes to discrimination. But, if you have been feeling down, if you have been feeling a little out of balance, Spirit is saying here, group number 3, remember who you are. Remember what sets you on fire. Remember why you have a purpose here. Because that 6 of Cups, it's really Spirit. That traditional 6 of Cups is like someone is there who's older than you, or an old nostalgic connection is giving you a cup. That's Spirit giving you a cup, group number 3. Spirit's got your back. Spirit's energy is all over this one. Like, no, you are going to succeed. There's no human intervention strong enough to deter your leadership, your success. Yeah, for some of you, you will not have to wait a whole 6 months. You're going to see something take place in July. I don't know how long you've been at this place, but it might even be a promotion. It might be something that you end up doing that gets highly recognized, group number 3. Yeah, I think Spirit is saying here with the reef, again, it's about not letting this get to you. The outcome is far more powerful than these little people like nibbling at your ankles, trying to keep you down. It's their Spirit is saying their efforts are ineffective. Yeah, look at that. Some of you are in LGBT community. If you are, this is a confirmation. Yeah, you have good fortune coming towards you. Spirit is trying to say you are blessed in this situation. You do not need to worry. In fact, you will have success with some of the plans and the hard work that you're putting in. And I think that's the overall message for you, group number 3, is to stay with the integrity of your work. Keep that going. It will be recognized. These people are small players in your life of success. Wow, look at that career. We couldn't have said it. Spirit couldn't have said it even more. Your career is yours. It belongs to you, group number 3. Not to anyone else, but to you. So, if you resonate with any or all of this reading, would you mind giving me a thumbs up? It's a brand new channel, and it's a great way to just support my readings, and a great way to show reciprocity if you want. And if you want to stay connected and you like the way that I read, please subscribe and then click that bell, because you get notified when I upload new readings. And if any of this has resonated for you, group number 3, because you all are some badasses, please put it in the comments. I would really love to hear from you about this scenario. But you are blessed. Okay, group number 3, take care. Hello, group number 4. This is Kamara with the Black Dove Oracle, and welcome to your pick a card on your career moves for the next 6 months. Now, I gotta tell you, groups 1, 2, and 3 have been deep, very deep. So I don't expect less from your group number 4. How I'm doing this is Spirit is giving us the overall energy of the next 6 months in your career, and then some energies that Spirit is suggesting you might want to be in, or that you are in, and then, just some other confirmations that we'll be doing with tarot cards, as well as we got some tea leaves. So let's go to the overall energy for your career. You have the box, group number 4. You know what it says about the box in the description book? It's like, this is the confines, the rules, the norms, the cage. The box literally is the structure and the order of your workplace or your career. It's also the logic that's being used to keep you in the box, group number 4. But if you look really close, the box does have in its very center a light, some hope. I don't know why it came through as hope. It says here in the little book, we all live to some degree within the confines of the box. This archetype represents everything that is known, anticipated, expected. But it says here that group number 4, something that Spirit wants you to know is that everything within the box is already known to you. It's already known. And that everything outside of the box is unknown. That is why we have to get out of our comfort zone. That is why we have to push at the edges of the box so that we can get new experiences and that we can grow in our career. Because this is a career reading, but it stands for your life too, right? So the next 6 months, I hear a whole bunch of motorcycles outside. There's some kind of like energy happening for you in the next 6 months, group number 4. And this energy is inviting you to go beyond your comfort zone, go beyond the cage, the box. Let's see what energy Spirit wants you in. The Messiah, serving humanity with humility. The shadow attribute is exaggerated belief that you are the only means in which a cause can succeed. Oh, that's very interesting. Child wounded. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. The shadow attribute is to blame all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Resist moving through with forgiveness. Victim. Prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. The shadow attribute is playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity. Inability to maintain personal boundaries. Wow. Group number 4. Spirit is saying quite literally here that sometimes we condition ourselves to be in the box. Sometimes we've learned from very toxic lessons, toxic workplaces, stay here. Don't rock the boat. Don't present us with ideas that are going to create, quote unquote, more work. Stay here so that we can evaluate you here. And maybe for some of us, even, sadly, even in school systems, we are taught color in the lines, stay in the box. When you're out the box, you are a problem in many organizations, in many communities. But Spirit, for you, group number 4, wants you to focus on the light attribute, because there's plenty ways here where you have seen the possibility of the mishandling of power, from exaggerating beliefs and someone I think this is not your energy, the shadow attributes, but Spirit is saying that I need to call out what you've been witnessing in the workplace. Some of you have a boss, a CEO, a founder that really believes that the work centers around them, their ego, their personality. There are other people in the organization, the workplace, wherever you are, group number 4, that choose to be the victim and never stand up or take a place outside of this box. They'd rather stay in the box and be a victim and not change anything, or feel powerless to go get another job or to change the workplace in any way. So maybe while everybody's attending to the ego of this one leader, there are people who are equally leaders who aren't exercising leadership. Y'all let me know in the comments below, somebody, this is your situation. And then there's other ways in which people are blaming everything on everyone else except the actual problem, which is everybody is conforming. They want to stay here in the safety zone, but there's really no safety when you're dealing with I hate to say it, like a narcissistic personality in the workplace. These people can be very harmful. And so Spirit is pointing out here that while those negative things are happening, you have the power, group number 4, to step outside this box. And it could quite literally mean you leaving the organization or you standing up. Really, quite literally taking a Messiah role, since nobody else will do it, to correct the energies in the organization or the workplace. But there's something about you, group number 4, that Spirit says, you want to know why you might be the right person for that? It's because I think you see how this situation activates everybody's wounded child. You see how all the people that you work with, whether this is on a team or in a department or a whole ass company, you're seeing how everybody's wounded child keeps them in the box, keeps them a prisoner to this situation. Very deep. Wow. Spirit be speaking in this whole pick a card reading. Group number 4, you have the alchemy. You have the special sauce to turn around the situation. Look how beautiful this card is. You know, the hands represent agency. And in the center of that hand is a wheel, almost like a medicine wheel to me. You have the medicine, you have the alchemy to turn around the situation, to bring it into a teaching moment, group number 4. The way the energy just radiates off your hands, it's almost as if you were divinely sat down in this workplace to do this work. Not the work you were really hired for, but to do the work that you're most qualified for on all dimensions. There's something very special about you, group number 4. The energy you carry with you, the deep understanding of the human condition, because not many people can follow the lead of Spirit when Spirit is saying, look at their wounded child. Look at how they regress to this place. Because I'm looking closer at this picture, group number 4. Look at this caring, almost like motherly grandmother type is embracing the small little child on each side. This is interesting. I want to hear more, because this is the shadowy part. For some of you, that is a boss. For some of you, it's just a work culture that has been kept up by the leadership. So, take it where it resonates. But somebody does have a boss that's like high ego. Well, Three of Wands, I think it showed up in quite a few readings today. But you have a vision. I think that's the vision right there. That light in the box. You have a vision, and I think it's coming from your divine power, group number 4. This vision is maybe for you to help create a healthy workplace, because there is such thing as workplace trauma. There is such thing as people bringing their wounded selves and creating a workplace that's basically very hard to exist in. But it is your generosity, group number 4, your ability to help people not be a victim, help them understand where their true power is, that's going to give you a ripe opportunity to start to implement things that are more healthy. Yeah, this King of Pentacles, it's pointing to someone who has someone in authority in your workplace that abuses their power. And it may be so much so that this person is losing money for the company or the program or the organization, take it where it resonates. But this person's ego, it's harder for you all to do the work successfully, because maybe clients, maybe collaborators just don't want to deal with that energy. That's very specific, but yeah. For some of you, regardless of the person's gender, they also, it's interesting, you have Queen of Wands in reverse too. This person might actually, and trigger warning you guys, so, skip ahead, just give you a few seconds, because I'm going to talk about this person could also be very sexually inappropriate. Okay? Like this person's not safe for people to be around, certain people to be around. For some of you, Spirit is saying this might end up being a legal case. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet that indicates that, but you might be on the forefront of some kind of action in that way. That's a small group of you. Ooh. But Spirit is saying that might be true. Maybe you're planning something to lodge a complaint, some of you. Maybe you're going to be able to help people to finally not be the victim, group number 4, and stand up for themselves. Whoever this person is, they're toxic. And Spirit is saying they have no spiritual backing, so do what you need to do. This person, once they get a whiff that you all are trying to go up against them, they are going to pull some shenanigans, so watch out. Be very careful. Spirit is saying, group number 4, in your planning, keep that on the need to know. Yeah, judgment is coming for this person. And I don't know if it's being led solely by you, group number 4, or you are helping with the foundation of getting this all together. This is very specific, but Spirit is just keeps affirming. Yeah, look at that. 5 of Swords. This person will be defeated, Spirit is saying. But, here's the setup, group number 4. Your power is to come in and let people know, hey, you do not have to stand for this. There are laws, there are protocols, there are rules in place, which is funny. Oh my God. The box, it says here that sometimes the box also can be the opposite of what's limiting us. The box actually provides us with some safety. So this is the paradox of the box, group number 4. is that while you need to teach people to break free of the limitations that keep them in victimhood, that keeps activating their wounded child parts, you're also going to teach them how the box, it has certain protocols in place to keep them safe, certain laws they can lean on, certain avenues that they can take to go up against this energy, because this energy is pretty nasty, y'all. Very nasty. Yeah. And Spirit is saying here, once that is done, once you all, and because I'm seeing a group of people here, once this workplace can really begin to defend itself, that's going to be the end of that cycle. This toxic cycle, that will be the end of it. Group number 4. What's group number 4's role, Spirit? Because I was just wanting to confirm that. What's group number 4's role? Yeah, to drive this, to drive it, group number 4. And here's what I want to say about it, because it's going to be a little different for everyone. We're doing a collective reading, but your energy is going to drive it. Whether you are sitting there and encouraging people at the mental health level, or whether you are investigating laws and talking to legal counsel, it's being driven by you, group number 4, in some form or fashion at the level in which you can participate. The 9 of disc is in reverse. And Spirit is saying here, you know, when we're going up against bullies, when we're going up against toxic energies, sometimes they want to make it seem as if we're losing, that they can beat us. Some people in this process, and Spirit is telling me it's very specific, don't take it to heart if it doesn't resonate, but some people in this process might end up losing their jobs, getting laid off, fired for reasons that have no basis. Yeah. Many people are going to have to figure out what battles and wars to fight in this situation. That might be you too, group number 4. But because this card feels like a warrior card, I think you are going to fight the war. You know that saying, you want to win the battle or you want to win the war. Spirit's bringing that up for somebody specifically. Yeah, because here it is. It doesn't, if you lose the battle, it doesn't mean you're not strong, group number 4, because losing the battle just means you go back to the strategy, right? Winning the war, I heard this the other day. When people win the war, everybody hears about that win. The battle, not so much. The battle is just like the small parts. The war is where people are like, oh, remember group number 4? And they went up against so-and-so and got them thrown out of their position by the board, blah, 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 blah. That's the strength you want to lean on. There may be small battles. There may be small losses here, things you won't be able to celebrate because this person is going to pull out all the stops to be their toxic self. But Spirit is saying here, bottom of the deck, the Fool. It's not time to be the fool. It's time for you to know the strategies that a toxic person will take to try to hold on to their power. Tea leaves. A distant friend is thinking of you. I don't know why, but Spirit is telling me maybe somewhere in your time at this job, there was someone who left a long time ago who's now thinking of you. as you try to create change in this workplace. That person can be of support to you, group number 4. Or someone that you can lean on who's no longer with the company, someone you can trust to let them know just kind of like what you're thinking about doing. Something about this person. They may be not part of the organization anymore, but they definitely know the key players. Secret admirer. This person could be that. Because they do want to help you. There's something in that relationship there. I don't know why Spirit brought that up like that. There could be multiple reasons why that person wants to help you. And that's a good thing for what you need to accomplish. Obstacles to overcome. Yeah, this is not going to be an easy thing. This person is at the head, a leadership, because they know how to finagle themselves. They know how to be their toxic self and still keep a job. So, this person, you're going to have some obstacles. You're going to have people go back into fear. You're going to have people tap into their wounded child, and you're going to have to keep going. Yeah, broken ring, parting of ways. There's something here about a relationship. Spirit's giving me a couple of scenarios, but they're saying it's very specific. I don't even know if it's worth mentioning. Wow. Whoever this person is who's really a toxic leader, they may be married, and you may see a perfect opportunity because as their marriage is falling apart, they might be in one of these like couples that own a business together. Whatever it is, I mean, this is so specific, but Spirit brought it up as a possibility. A husband and wife where the husband's like really got ego out of control and just doing all kinds of toxic stuff. When the wife decides to leave the scenario, leaves the business, it could be a wife, it could be a partner. So gender, don't hang on it too closely. If they have a partner who potentially they might have more of an intimate relationship too and a business relationship, this person might suddenly leave. And Spirit is pointing to that time frame as in something to initiate some kind of action. That's very specific, you all. Put it in the comments if that resonates at all, but there's something here about a relationship and how it's broken off. Partners leaving, people in high leadership positions leaving. It doesn't necessarily have to be an intimate thing, but maybe something that's found out that's kind of inappropriate, like these two leaders actually were engaging in some kind of intimate relationship. There's drama here, group number 4. That's all I'm going to say. There's some kind of improprietary, there's a lot going on in this place, but I think what you have to understand is that energy is so toxic. It's just whatever's going on that's negative, it's surrounding this energy. Yeah, family matters. I don't know what it is, but there's something to do with somebody's family. Could be a family-owned business. Y'all let me know. Yeah, basically what Spirit is saying here, group number 4, is that there's going to be a lot of changes. Some things you will not find out about until later. But the weave of this leadership is slowly fraying. And that's what Spirit is saying. And your job, if you choose to accept it, is just to empower those who have been impacted the most by this toxicity. And you will drive that. And it's probably going to be in the next 6 months. Let me get one of these time frame cards. November. So, not saying wait till November, just things might culminate in November. Let me know if it resonates, group number 4. If you resonate with any or part of this reading, could you give me a thumbs up? It's a way that I grow this brand new channel, and I really appreciate your support. If you want to stay connected and you like the way that I read, please consider subscribing to this brand new channel and clicking that bell because you get notified when I upload new readings. If this is where we part, group number 4, wow, you're a powerful player in shifting something that has been very disturbing for a lot of people. You're a key player in this. So thanks so much. Take care, my honeys.